Mabuhay!
It's Layo,
Roxanne, Alex,
and Aryan.
And here is the Foreign Philippines, a look into Filipinos' reliance and recovery from innate foreign sentiments. This video will map out our road to nationalism and will answer the question, where are we in this? So are you ready to find out? Because we are. The Philippines, an archipelago in the southeast of Asia, is home to vast resources, a colorful history and cultural narratives, talent showcased through the arts, and a spectrum of skills in intellect and athletics. But we choose to ignore all these. Now why?
The Philippines is rich, period. But have you ever wondered how or why a rich country like us lives poor? Here are the reasons why the Philippines is stuck in a seemingly endless phase of development. First off, let's lay some facts out. According to the PSA, the country's performance in the agricultural sector has been constantly improving in the recent years. There was an increase in the production of different major crops and livestock production like corn, onion, hogs, eggs, and milk. Here's the issue. Despite this boost, this agricultural improvement is not enough to contribute to the growth of the Philippine economy. Now, why? The agricultural sector contributes only 9.7% to the country's GDP compared to the industrial sector, and the services sector having 30.5% and 59.9% respectively. This is explained by the fact that majority of the employment force is allotted to the services sector, gaining up to 56.3%. Here's what we are missing. According to another report of the PSA, the industry sector surpasses the services sector in labor productivity. According to Saturnino Boras, the state's stagnant development is caused by the inability to diversify products. He believes that by expanding and shifting the labor force to the industry sector can enhance the nation's growth by creating job opportunities for Filipinos. The Philippines has a great potential to grow, but why do we fix ourselves to things like basketball despite our potential in other skills? Where do we really invest?
The Filipinos were colonized by Americans, and in that time, they taught Filipinos how to be more like them. In the aspect of sports, they introduced basketball, before it became a popular and well-loved sport worldwide. Basketball actually started with Professor James Naismith throwing crumpled balls of paper into a basket. Basketball. Quite literal, huh? Today, basketball remains in the Filipino culture, through which Filipino players explicitly show their value of resiliency. Majority of our Filipino players deal with their deficiency and height, when in comparison with foreign players. But even with such disadvantage, they still continue to play and they continue to fight. This value is called PUSO. Now, this PUSO culture does not only apply to Filipino basketball players. Ordinary Filipino citizens standing at the court sidelines exhibit Filipino PUSO through their everyday fight in their lives full of challenges. Filipinos live in a tipped-over equilibrium with societal imbalances they have to confront every single day. But even with these hardships and adversities, even with poverty, calamities, and anti-poor governance, a smile on every Filipino's face continues to be ever present.
With this puso amongst the players on the court comes the pride in each of the Filipinos, may they be Pinoy fans or not. In their study, researchers Pawlowski, Downward, and Raskiewicz explain that for governments to strive towards strong sports participation on a national level by investing in professional athletes, sporting successes, and sports events is key to building national pride. This is found to positively affect individual citizens as they get to consider the sport success as their own too. Pinoys truly are the best fans out there, may it be in boxing or talent shows. Filipinos don't fail in showing their sport, as long as it's on the international stage, of course. Because that's what Pinoy pride is. A pride reliant on American labels and international competitions, for only with these foreign identities do Pinoys actually live out Pinoy pride. Now, a national pride that requires a global stage? We'll call it the anti-Filipino behavior, seen in these four structures. The anti-Filipino behavior is a phenomenon amongst Filipinos defined as preference for foreign customs manifested through the subscription to everything non-Filipino. Historically, with having had Spanish and American colonizers, we prefer the West with our belief systems and even our structures for communication. We lost our own identity. In economics, the PSA reported the tipping of our import and export in terms of our free on-board value income. More specifically, we fell short in coconut exportation despite being its largest producer in the world. or anti-Filipino economics is manifested through our failed economic model execution and the practice of xenocentrism. Lastly, the dimension of language. Though in 1987, Filipino was established to be our national language, English still holds a powerfully prominent position in our society. As we believe English to be the language of internationalization and Filipino as a mere redundancy, who do we end up as? Remember, it is upon the Filipinos to free themselves from a self-made oppression. It is upon the Filipinos to dismantle an internalized misunderstanding of who they are and who they should be. Filipinos owe it to no one but themselves. We owe it to no one else but ourselves.
So how can we renew our Pinoy pride without the reliance on foreign countries or the affiliation with the international scene? We can start by recalling our heroic fellow Filipinos in history. We can start by remembering who we were, who we are, and who we can be. Historical awareness has a role in the development of the nation and of our national pride. We need to know our heroes and oppressors, successes and failures throughout our history. However, there is a crucial phenomenon called historical amnesia. This has consequences because if we forget the past, then we forget who we are. The solution to historical amnesia is to be exposed to more effective lectures, more informative reference books, and historical entertainment. Historical films have made history a part of popular culture, whether it is critical acclaim or controversial debate. They have the potential to increase historical awareness and appreciation, stimulate social change, and influence the nationalism of a society. So more historical Filipino films mean stimulate more of national pride. What are historical films? Period dramas, biopics, war films, and other stories that reenact a significant event. Many Academy Award-winning and nominated films actually fall under this genre. In the Philippines, General Luna and Goyo, or movies of the so-called Bayani universe, have stimulated historical enthusiasm, and indie movies such as Liway reminds us of the truth that we should never forget. As often as they are acclaimed, historical films are also criticized. Schindler's List was criticized for representing an unrepresentable event. Historians argue that General Luna was historically inaccurate because of the fictional elements and controversial because of the portrayal of Luna as an authoritarian. Filmmakers make use of the balcony of history, in which they let the audience re-witness history from a vantage point. Filmmakers have their own vision and methods of storytelling, and they have the right to incorporate these if they believe these will make the film a more sentimental and thought-provoking medium of entertainment, as well as a more effective vehicle of public memory. Spielberg's purpose in Schindler's List was to educate. The film fulfilled its purpose worldwide and in the countries it represented. In Israel, they began to recognize the victims rather than just the resistance fighters. The discussion of Holocaust was stimulated in Germany, and the nation used to deny their responsibility for the event. They also began to search for more Germans who rescued Jews or more Schindlers to look up to and learn from. Tarog's purpose in General Luna was to make Philippine history personal to Filipinos and bridge the present with the past. He wanted to point out the culture of betrayal and divisiveness in the Philippines. Definitely not the need for dictatorship. General Luna instills national pride as we experience emotional immediacy with the people that shaped our country. Filmmakers are taking risks reinterpreting significant and controversial historical events. But when storytelling is done right, thousands of lives are touched by the past. We should keep historical cinema part of our popular culture. We must remind ourselves of the strength and beauty of our nation. Now it is our role to continue the narrative our heroes have started.
In conclusion, we must redefine our perception of the Philippines and of Filipinos. We see ourselves as a better subject when we are more connected and relevant to the foreign scene. We are blinded by how much we want to be like our colonizers, but we do not see how rich and capable we really are, that we are strong-willed and sovereign. We are Filipinos. Of our potential and prowess, we must be proud. Of our national identity, we must be assured. Let's carry on our shoulders with great honor and utmost humility. We can do who we are and who we can be. With this undertaking of the Filipino burden, do we realize that actually the road to greatness is just straight ahead.